All right, so going live. Yesterday we ended up uh, doing some work with the environmental repository. Got it set up so that it's just now ready to start sticking skills into it. And I've got a good example that I want to get to soon. But also, Michael has just merged some location awareness stuff, and I need to wrap my mind around that. And while I was just piddling around today, I was doing some UI improvements. So let's jump into it. Oh yeah, I wanted to also post those things. Like, I'm still working on this. Whenever I start streaming, this little thing, my icon keeps changing for some reason. Why does it do that? Copy, paste. I'm getting faster at updating it, but it's really stupid. This is the fun thing. I say day 4 starting. Since I'm already started, I'm not going to take too much time to write a follow-up. Well, I don't know. Follow-ups are kind of cool though, right? That follow-up message. But I'm really excited to see the clock is ticking. All right, that looks like the end. Copy. Current time. The dinner bell has rung. The dinner bell has rung. The clock is ticking, and I gotta head down. All right, this was yesterday. One of the cool things that I figured out I can do is ask, like, the interesting thing that happened yesterday, so I can use YouTube to actually remind me what the crap happened. Eventually, I'd like to start pulling out the transcript and experiment with like auto-generating nice content, and of course use Rook as my agent to guide me through that and learn the skills with me. But that's for a later day. Day 4 is done. Day 5 is starting. This also takes a little bit of time, and I don't like it. I'm just getting the link to day 5. Shareable link. it smart to invite the entire internet to my Zoom link? I don't know. No. There's that. Repost. Okay, doing the X version of that. Oops. My agent's still hanging out with me. Goodbye, agent. Alright, this is all silly. So, time to actually get to real work. Yes, that's the one I want to get to. But before that, let's wrap up what I was doing here. An annoying thing that I noticed is when you have markdown rendering, you can't copy and paste it. I just made it where you could do this. So that's kind of cool. Ooh, and it's got this little thing. That's cool. I like it. But I don't like all of it. Can you generate a markdown document that is terse but demonstrates like all the basic markdown stuff? Go. Oops. And put it in. Okay, good, it's here. I don't want it to write a file. No, don't wrap it in a markdown backticks. Just like recreate the thing you had without the surrounding markdown backticks. Okay, here's one thing I still don't like is that it doesn't render as it's writing. The rendering actually looks pretty good though. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Oh, it got all of it that time. Okay. So it still looks like it's getting all of the, that looks like the markdown, yeast. But does this look like markdown? You know, that's enough to tell. Okay, check this out. This feels like a bug. If I click the copy icon, I get the full document as expected. The backticks are mine. But if I manually copy it, like I'll just copy the top of the document you made. Then it looks like, so the markdown is removed. That feels like a bug. Is that fixable? Oops. Also, remember to check out head again. I was doing a silly side quest on a far back hash. Oh, it's hard to fix, dang it. Yep, okay, I thought that might be the problem. Yeah, that feels really hard. Okay, that feels really hard for now. Let me ask about another thing that might also be fixable. Right now, as the text is being generated, it comes to the screen as unrendered markdown. And then once the full agent response is received, it renders the entire document at once. Is it possible to do partial rendering as the document is being generated by the agent? How much more difficult is number 3 than number 2? Well, I've got the agent to a state where it really likes bulleted list. If 3 is not going to make the code wildly more complicated, then let's go with that. Make sure that, if possible, you're structuring this parsing mechanism so that it's modular and we can pluck it out and replace it with something else later. While that's cooking, let's see what else is going on. Oops, I think it just stopped cooking. By the way, I'm using Z today. I don't know, seems simple, and maybe that's what I want. I also inhaled my water just a moment ago. Alright. Get status. Alright. Looks like it should be modular. Bloop. Alright, let's see what we got. That's not a good user experience. I don't know. What do we do about that? Just cache recent conversations locally? Probably. Okay, I've restarted the client. Regenerate that same markdown sample document in our conversation here. Oops. You know what? I can also do it here. Kind of cool, right? Renders both places at the same time. Does it render the same way? It's not bad. Oh, and of course I missed the most obvious thing. Do it once more. When it actually produces it, is it rendering it correctly? Okay, I mean, that looks good. Watch when the table comes up. It was really fast. This all looks really good. I want to focus in on the table. Let's render the table. But use a much wider table. Let's try a 7 by 7. And we'll see if we can destroy the interface over here too. Yeah, that, I mean, okay, this is fine. Except for that, but that's a different bug. Wow. Oops. Hi. Send. There's a subtle bug where the communication is off. But I don't care. This works better than expected. Get committed with a nice message and push it. Push UI improvement.
Committed and push streaming markdown.
Now the agent messages are rendered as markdown as they're being created, and you can copy the agent message with a little copy button and it copies the markdown. I want to make it where you can copy just a chunk of the markdown, but that's harder. Now I'm going to start playing with the location stuff, Michael. Alright, I have no idea. In particular, help me exercise the location stuff. All right, so here's the location stuff. The basic idea is your iPhone has your lat long, has awareness of your location, lat long. And so what Michael has created is something on the client, on the iPhone, that looks at your dwell time in a particular location. And if you are in a place, apparently planted, then it will look up that place on his digest of OpenStreetMaps and get like the data for whatever building that is, which is certainly the address. But if it's associated with a business, that information is also available. And for like business areas, it's pretty rich data too. And he was also able to find out the data down to the location of the store. Like, so you can get not just this is Lowe's, you can say this is Lowe's store 172. That information gets converted back into a canonical environment location, which is kind of a munging of the address and maybe a store location. I don't know yet, so we'll see. Okay. You know what? I'm going to make one more change to the UI that's going to be useful right now. By the way, it's totally a bug that I can't see my previous conversation. Let's make one more change to the UI that'll be really helpful. Oh, wait, actually, it might be changed already. Now, render a link to google.com. Give me a link to google.com. I want to see how that renders. Nailed it. Ho ho ho, and it does work. That's nice. All right, good. Day 5 is stopped. All right. There's a Mac, phone, server. Waiting for my phone to wake back up. Oh, it is. Ah, come on. Come again? There's a little bug there in the phone. But not one that I'll fix quite yet. iPhone detects arrival. Phone sends lat long to server. Oh, okay, so there's two posts. You post to identify an environment, and you post to register that location. Okay, sure. Thing that I noticed. All right, I need to start keeping track of stuff. Which registers any environment. Okay, so once we identify the environment and get the environment ID, right? We don't need I don't know what a GPX trace is. Alright, let's see what this does. Give me a LinkedIn map link to that lat long, zoomed in to building levels so that I can see what it is with my eyeballs. Render it as a markdown link. Yeah, okay, so there's still one more change I want to make. Where am I? Memphis, Tennessee. That's where I grew up. That's pretty wild. I have all the places. Did it choose the place I grew up? I grew up at 5972 Bridle Path. Oh? No. Bartlett. Wow. Crazy. Where is that? I have no idea where this is though. Alright, anyway. This is like the most boring possible place ever. But let's see what it says. Let's identify that address. Oh, I'm just use this. Gotta get used to that icon. Womp womp. This was not happening for him last night, and it was happening for me, so I bet I don't have read access to where he's got all this stuff stored. Alright, while you're checking on that, I'll go back here and make that one more change with the markdown. Not a good user experience. Okay, cool, you can render links, but if you just gave me a raw URL, it's not clickable. Can you render that as a markdown link? How would you do that? Like if the agent gives the user interface just a raw URL, I want something somewhere to replace it with that rendered as a link. What you up to, dude?
Are you recording?
Nope, I'm streaming right now.
Streaming? What's that?
If we go to YouTube, there is a place with thousands and thousands of people watching me.
Oh.
Glad you've got your pants on. You know, there actually might be 0 people there too. Yeah.
Hi, people who are watching.
Is there anything in this package that we're using that allows links to be clickable? It'd be nice just to change configuration rather than have a pre-formatter that works with streaming. All right. Is that a thing? Oh, okay, that is a thing. But I don't necessarily see why the angle bracket thing would be significantly easier than the label, although I like it, it's fine. But the thing I'm concerned about is the complexity of the code that handles making the links clickable. Do we have to like attach some sort of listener as the stream is coming in that notices a link and then modifies the text as soon as the link has completed? This feels like it could be gross. Go for it. You sound confident, and I trust you. Alright, back to my other one. I wish I had renamed these things. I wish they could exist in tabs. I think I'll make it do that soon. Oops. Keep going. Oh, crap. Keep going. Yeah, check that out. Okay. So, this is a smelly thing. I've got to take another look at the agent lifecycle. I think I'm making it complete its last request and then just be done if there's nothing looking at it. But what if you want to actually trigger work in the background? It's kind of a thing you'd want. So that's also bad. So one smelly thing I can do is keep going. Oh. All right. So my phone is going to work on that. So I can just keep it alive. No. Do it. Dang it. And this is day 5. Okay. Ah, alright. So I actually got a thing. And I doubt that's it. Okay, attempt to fix it with option 1. Reproduce it again. And then if that doesn't work, then let's talk about the next option. I want to try this out. All right. Now I'm making 2 changes that are not related with each other, and they're both going to the same branch. That's dumb. Scripts run rook server. Oh, it just killed everything. No. Okay, that's right. It says it's reconnecting, but I don't think it is. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Why is the Rook server launching in my terminal? It would be better if it launched it as its own process. How do we do that? I don't want it to be attached to a particular terminal. This was a concession I made a couple days ago just for permissions issues. It was running as cursor and didn't have the ability to look into certain files, which is reasonable, but I'm playing it wild. Hackers and hecklers would be a good name for a series. Like this. Boom, boom, boom. Where's... Nope, nope, nope. This thing. Yes. Right now the script is actually opening another terminal. What should it do instead? Could I keep it from opening a new terminal? I don't like that. It might actually be nice to package this up as a Macintosh application that internally runs a server. But I still want to keep the server separate from the Mac client application and the iPhone application. What do you recommend? Okay, I just want to be able to do that whenever we finish. Let's go with a background approach, but don't make it the default option, just make it the only thing we do. I don't want to add extra stuff in there. Just make it so that if I run rook.sh server again, that it will restart the server and it will shut down the existing server. All right. Yeah, dang it.
Background server launch updated?
All right, thank you much. Probably not what I want. All right. It's running a Z. Yeah, okay. Well, I have access to it, so I don't care. All right, now where were we? Okay, now since we restarted, let's get back to the original problem. Run that curl for me again yourself, and then I want to see if it's working or not. It's going to run this thing right here. Yep. Let's try to update my homebrew node. Maybe that's the problem. What API does OBS expose? I want to interface it with my agent. Ooh, okay, that's nice. Oops. It shut itself down. Okay, while we're there, I want to start. Oh, no. I restarted it. Okay, well, fine. Keep going. Keep going. Oh no. Oh. Ooh, I passed him. Haha. All right, that actually did work. Heck yeah. Okay. So now let's actually get a better location. I live in Nashville. I live in Nashville. Nashville. Sushi love. I love sushi. That looks like the place I have in mind. Okay. Copy that clipboard. Alright, I want to see with my... Okay. Give me a curl for... I want to try it myself. Uh-oh. That's kind of cool. All right, look, we got stuff. All right, the thing that came back as self-storage, blah, blah, blah. All right, did not get Sushi Love. Really? How do I add something like a radius to the request? I can't. Yeah, so maybe I'm fine with that. Okay, so it noticed self-storage. Is self-storage there? Abbott self-storage. Directions to Abbott self-storage. That's a little bit distant. YouTube agent. Make a note that I want to show this to Michael and ask why this is so distant. And here is the request and the response. All right. I'll depend upon YouTube for helping me figure that out later. Wow, that's cool. I could use that. I could record these silly videos and have like an agent pull the transcripts and be able to link back to very particular things on a video. That's interesting. All right, that's not what I want. Okay. Curious how sensitive it is. So if I try this, new candidates. Interesting. Martin's Barbecue. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, this is cool. We can sometimes get extra stuff. Like, okay, I think this was a nailed it. Yeah, that's the location. I'm familiar. Says so. Martin says lots of locations. So this is like the specific store. That's really cool. Match reasons, inside building. Okay. What other reasons exist? Also, what other keys can be returned besides the ones that are present here? What's the... let's let it be at that. Alright, it also says Logan's Roadhouse, which is actually incorrect. And it says they inhabit the location, the same location. So, I'm going to see if I can tell Michael right now. Mm-hmm. All right. I need to go to the little boy's room. Yeah, check this out. Let's see. Yeah, I don't care about that for now. Yes. All right, so it's interesting. It got multiple things. This should be collapsed and this should be excluded because it's older. Well, is this okay time?
Yeah, I'm just at a shop,
Cool.
which is
Obviously, you know I'm streaming, right? Cool.
yeah. No, you look fine.
I look fine. Okay, good. Thanks. You look sharp. What's with the suit and stuff?
Oh no, it's just like a shirt. I don't know. Went into the office. I'm usually remote, so actually went into a building.
That's cool.
Insane.
Like with 3D people? Gosh.
I know, more dimensions than I thought.
They used to have those, yeah. I always wanted to
I'm
like
calling my phone hello, but
I always wanted to grow like a mullet that no one ever saw, so that when they finally meet me in real life, I just got this weird mullet for no reason. Or one of those like Chinese the long hair thing. Cues, yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing some interesting stuff.
I have a local branch that I probably need to push soon too. But
Okay, so
Yeah.
check this out. Let's see. I think it's mostly here. I wonder if I've still got it up.
oh, I see.
Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
All right, so there are some bugs still.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. This is, although before I get too far, I'm also like wickedly impressed. Like, I see the potential. This is really cool. This is Sushi Love, and it found one location, Abbott West Self Storage. So that's a bit off.
Oh no. Sure.
Let's see.
What was the GPS point? Was it at I Love Sushi?
Yes, I'll give you a direct GPS point. Copy. And let's see. Chat. There you are.
Okay. Let me try just running that directly. I just want to see what that actually returns for the candidate endpoint or the identify endpoint.
Mm-hmm. Now, your search radius is 150 meters. Do the candidates have to be wholly contained inside the search circle or intersecting?
So businesses are points.
Okay.
Which is kind of problematic, but kind of not. So a building doesn't necessarily have a business.
Okay.
It's just all the businesses are individual latitudes and longitudes. We just happen to know business, like building polygons. That's it.
Okay.
So it's kind of hit or miss in that respect.
I also hear that we could shrink the data set down even further by getting rid of all polygons.
Oh yeah, if you don't want polygons, for sure. I just thought it was always interesting to be able to like click around.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't do that.
and-
Yeah, don't do what I just said. I secretly am finding your side project of creating the data set really interesting. I haven't told you yet. I'm used to be and sort of still am deep into search, and I've done like geo-based search stuff before. And when I was at Eventbrite, I was on the team that was doing like search. I was more on the tech side, but it was doing OpenStreetMap geolocation stuff.
nice.
So these are very, very, very rusty neurons for me. But
I haven't really, besides like apartment buildings, I haven't really messed professionally with geolocation stuff much. Um, so this is mostly just toss a bunch of stuff into a struct type side project. Okay, but it's being useful. Um, I think it's still I have I'm still somewhat unsure if it's actually the correct fit for Rook, but whatever. I'm gonna
the
chill it where
API
I can.
makes sense to me. Like, so, and I don't like for Rook's sake, I don't care what's underneath the API. So as long as it
Yeah.
works as advertised and is sufficiently performant, then I
Yep.
mean, there's other criteria. Okay, here's another interesting thing.
Just perfectly perform it. We just download the file locally to the server. Like Tennessee's like not that big in terms of like file size.
oh,
But,
at some
but
point,
whatever.
do you have in the README like how I can get hold of these files myself? Like, do you have a repo that does all this stuff? Like,
I think I updated my repo that contains like the build scripts for this
mhm.
to have a list of all the files. Um, I can get you like the individual URLs as well, very easily.
Just one
Um,
dependency that I realize I have is I'm absolutely dependent on like you making those files and hosting them somewhere. So at some
yeah, that's why it's completely fine. Just you can download them. It's fine. Or
okay, I'll need to remember to do that.
I linked the repo that has the build scripts for it.
Okay,
One of those documentation files.
cool. You muted yourself. Check out this other thing. If I take this lat long, so I want to go from Sushi Love to this lat long. It is that. There's Sushi Love. It's that lat long. It's the Hampton Inn and Suite. It has 0 candidates, so that's a miss. I wonder if it would not be a miss with a bigger radius. 150
So-
meters is pretty big, though. You'd figure that would this building, like,
Where is the 150 coming from? Because I don't think I use that.
my agent says that you have search radius meters 150.
I think that's wrong. Because
Yeah, it might very well be wrong. I don't see it.
I'm doing 2 meters outside of the bounding box of the building.
Oh, you are using the building bounding boxes then.
At least that's what my agent said. But-
Well, my agent should talk to your agent then.
Oh. Okay, wait. I'm trying to find where 150 comes from.
Well, like I can't
Oh.
find what it said was the constant here, so like maybe the nope, never mind. Did find it. I just don't know how to use my new IDE. And there's your name right next to it. Let's click through. Crap. How do I do this? really don't know how to use this editor yet.
Okay. Yeah, I found where where is it meters? Identify available environments, compute confidence. Yeah, that's way too long. That's way too far. Especially diagonally.
I don't know. Well, it's not too bad. So 150 radius.
Like,
well, okay, radius of 150. Yeah, it's probably too long.
That's insane.
But in that case, though, look, here's just another feature that we need to figure out. If I put a lat long there, it doesn't find Hampton Inn. Should it?
This is where I would use let me try it with, you know, that like website that I showed you once,
the P-tiles thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's effectively the web viewer for the entire file format. Let me get it queued up. So, wait, what is that? It's off Elliston Pike. Is that the right building that I linked?
Click. No. It's this building.
Okay, click that building. Yeah, click whichever building it is.
There you go.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, check that out. That's
a strange building. I don't know what is up with that building.
Ah. Oh, check this out. Like auto repair.
Correct.
Room 209. Dennis Suites.
Corner bar.
That's it.
Okay, so that's a very strange building. I don't know why. So the list on the right side is every business, and each red dot is one of those businesses. So that's why. So if you look at like it's an open question for me exactly whether we care to associate a specific building with a specific
environment
business.
Well,
because there's more businesses than I actually think of, or for instance, like this random. But there's also like if you click on like that Chili's to the right, there's actually like 3 different Chili's inside of it.
Yeah,
strange.
I have seen that. Martin's was interesting, actually. Let's check that out just real quick, because it was another thing I wanted to show you. Martin's has 3 locations. So I just put a dot somewhere here. And then it came back with Martin's. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Oops, I can also. That's a bug. It came up with Martin's. I think these are the exact same environment ID.
Yeah, because they're in the same exact street. Which makes sense because they're the same building. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah. We probably ought to collapse these into something. Do you think they'll ever have like different, I bet you they will occasionally have different like websites or something like that.
Right, they might. We should delete them, but the fact that they have a website is really nice. Um,
Yeah,
is it?
and it's absolutely the right one, so that's really cool. It also has Logan's Roadhouse, which I presume is a previous place. This is a dead
Right.
site.
Yeah, it's might be out of date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Is that an OpenStreetMap's out of date?
Yes. Yeah, I just pulled everything.
Ah,
I did not filter it by recent date at all. Or it's hard to really know whether it's still relevant or not.
hmm.
Yeah. I think the best approach is to like start aggregating all of these like store like search like the specific brands like find the store page
Hmm.
and go backwards from those to
Hmm.
like validate data as well as like build up skills.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like Comcast. There's a GameStop in here somewhere.
In the interim, like even though it's noisy data and it's got some issues.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
fun.
this like just having access to oops, I've erased my examples. Having access to the stuff that's around you and being able to just get the website out of these things
Yeah,
is that's enough to give to an agent and say, is this relevant? Can you check this out? I think I might be here. And then in communicating, like you're talking with the thing too, like the human, that's a big part of like my personal vision and something that I think people are missing out. If the human is in the loop, not for all the conversations, but for a lot of the conversations, then the human is a corrective factor. I still want something that eventually you can throw work to, but
yeah.
this is going to have a human hanging onto a phone.
I think it's I really like the life cycle idea. I think it's slept on a lot because I really want to queue up things. Like I think of something, it's only relevant in a certain location, or it's only relevant when I open like an application that I only use for like one type of project. Like if I open Xcode, it's probably going to be for like Rook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like, like being able to just queue up like a to-do list, like I don't know, or any type of task for an agent.
No, I thought that was a really cool idea.
I
Next
don't know.
time I go to Kroger's, I want to remember to pick up blah.
Mhm.
Okay, so the agent has the affordance to figure out what Kroger's we've been to, what is our Kroger's like, especially if there's some dots I'm sure we have to connect. But if it can figure out the environment and the memory that we want to attach to the environment or the to do or whatever, then um, it can stick it in the agents.md for that environment. Like
Yes.
when you're working on code, you've got agents.md like right now in that environment. But now when we've canonized everything as an environment, they all have their agent MDs, agents MD.
Yeah. I think
Is that sufficient for most of the behavior you're talking about?
I think so. Plus, I think it's agnostic to environments as well, or invariant, I guess, to environments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like, oh, next time like I'm in Obsidian and it's related to this GitHub repo. Like, I find when I'm talking to like an agent, especially when I'm like limited to a single session, like on my phone remotely,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like connected to a computer with like 6 different terminals open, being able to like I miss the like capability of having like if I'm stuck to a single thread of conversation, I maybe I'm just ADHD or something. I jump between a lot of topics. So like I might mention one project in like one paragraph, especially if I'm doing speech to text.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might jump to a different topic. Then I might be like, oh, I do need to remember to buy milk at Kroger
Mm-hmm.
next time. And then just like stream of thought type uh, UX, which is I think still missing because currently that would be a like incorrect way of using agents because that clutters the context and
Yeah,
that
for sure.
like the agent doesn't know exactly what you're referencing and your project might have like gone through 3 different name changes and now it doesn't really know exactly what you mean because it's
And you need
like
milk.
it
That's
used to
gonna
be called p tiles and it used to be called like map this out for me. I don't know. So I don't know. I like the idea of like giving like specific names or identifiers, like the unique environment IDs that you're like consolidating around
hmm
to the agent, so that the agent can like know what you're referencing and
hmm
like start doing memory that way. But
You're talking about a lot of stuff I've been thinking about. We should definitely like. So far, the conversations we've happened to be in have been like philosophical, very important, but like uh, more philosophical. Last night was or Monday, which was last night was we got into your code a little bit. That was nice, but we should just hack on something. Um, like I would like to work on some of the ideas that you're talking about, so that we can like brainstorm together. It'll be a little bit slow going because it's like two people doing something that, but so like let me riff on your ideas for a second, just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking about. And I've got kind of two minds right now. I'm working with on the screen even. Oh yeah, I'm still screen sharing. I don't guess really need to be. You can see me. Hi. Um, I'm working with Rook to actually build stuff. I want to use it so that if it's gross, I feel the grossness. And it's got some issues, but so far it's holding up okay. As a locally development environment stuff, it's been really cool to open any program on my computer and talk to the program. It's still not as native, like Rook does not see the state changes and stuff. But one thing I've noticed on my computer using it is I go back and forth between things a lot too. But on my computer, I want to keep it separate for the reasons you said. I don't want to muddy up the context. I want to have like a tabbed interface or something like that.
yep.
On the iPhone, which I think isn't like this is what Greg's harping on. Like we're not going to be noticed on the computer because there's so many other competing things right now. But no one seems to be doing the location stuff. So on the iPhone, which we need to absolutely nail, I think it is going to be different. It's kind of like talking to Alexa. It's got to have that, at least that simplicity, what they were going for and didn't really quite nail. Something where it's like, I'm here and I don't want to type on the keyboard. I want to be like talking to a thing that's going to help me. And so for those type things, I bet you could probably just open up one. You don't need tabs. I suspect what you're talking about might even just work because the type of context work that the agent does in a phone is going to be different from development. In development, I am reading reams of context every time I do something, and it's just obliterating the context. On a phone, there's going to be stuff going through it, but it's like, how often am I going to check on a location, stuff inside this location? There is going to be a bit of back and forth. I bet there's also tricks that we can do, like the user hasn't talked to the agent in 15 minutes. We can, like reset the context. And then if we really want to get into it, like we could figure out which context the user wants to be in. But that's a little bit advanced. I wouldn't mind doing that too. But that's I don't want to nail that one until the basic stuff works.
Yeah, just one quick note on that. That's almost the same problem as which tool should I call?
Yeah.
Like what like level of abstraction am I in is the same question as the environment.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
So let's play with that idea for a little bit. at their core, agents are nothing but a while loop around model calls and like another tighter while loop around tool calls. It just goes back and forth. Do I need to call them all? And then once it finally says the text output, it breaks that loop and it goes back to the user. Okay, so given that, anything really that we've got today, MCP servers, skills, all that stuff really fits into that same paradigm. Skills are just, you got a file system, you can read it, and you've got instructions about how to read it. So if you wanted to implement something like you're talking about, I don't know, maybe you'd have in the system message, it's like, by the way, buddy, there are these contexts. I don't know what to call this. It's a different than environment. It's tabs. There are these contexts in which you're talking. Kroger's or something, blah, blah, blah. It'll like name it. Kroger's, hardware store, home, some, just different things that you've been talking about. And then you could give it a tool set that allows it to jump to a context, like, this, like, specify the context that we should go to for this comment. Now, and so you can do everything with just the boring model. The hard part comes with when the model says, I want to jump into the Kroger's context. You actually have, like, that's where you have to do something a little bit smarter than this while loop agent. You have to step outside. You have to say, okay, they've called that crazy thing where I have to fork the current one, take the previous message and remove it from that agent, put it in from that session, put it in this session, and restart the session from there. Totally doable and cool stuff. And I wouldn't mind getting to it, but I don't want to, it's not, that one's not trivial.
Yeah, because then you have to deal with like context compression and everything like that when you're swapping.
Yeah. And that's only the first thing I thought of right now. There's smarter things. I'm secretly still just hoping that one giant context works okay for when you're out and about. I think it's probably not going to be too bad, honestly.
Even just, can you hear that alarm, by the way?
No.
Sweet. Okay. Yay, noise cancellation. Okay, but that makes a lot of sense. Like at least when I'm like using my phone like separately from the computer and like talking to an LM, I'm almost like using it as like a note taker.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have like multiple different tool calls that it's spinning off behind the scenes, but I really don't care to read its output.
Mm-hmm.
Like besides very coarse descriptions of what it's actually trying to like describe. But I think you're right that like you can probably get away with just a long context and that be sufficient for pretty much, yeah. I guess as long as we aren't like resuming context based off of at least physical location. It's different when it's like a digital application, because then we will need to care about like recompressing the context and whatnot. But if you go somewhere and yeah, it's gonna forget like the individual messages that you've sent from a previous session. But if it remembers like the general like memories or just like even as just a summary of the previous visit, that would be great. That'd be amazing, actually.
Have you been playing with it yet?
I haven't.
You got an Android. That's the problem.
So, kind of like, I have it. So I have a local branch that, I'm playing around with the idea of like being able to edit the location. So like when you like I don't know if this is relevant really, but like if the location's wrong, clicking like an edit button next to it in the context of the chat and like correcting the like business location if you need to. Uh, I don't really know if that's
Are you
useful.
crowdsourcing the improvement of open source map or whatever?
I mean, if I can piggyback on it, why not? But like for instance, like there's a map layer in Rook that lets me fix it. Woo. I don't know. I don't know. I can push that, but it's like it's saying like use my location, and I click it and it goes to a map and then it loads my location. Whoa. Gosh, I really need to figure out that mirroring screen thing. But whatever.
With Android?
With iPhone. I for some reason it doesn't like my account. I don't know why.
Oh.
But I don't know. It's less of an improvement on the core functionality, more of just like it caught my attention, so I've been doing it for last day. But
Don't make it. The only thing I would worry about is making the app more complicated before we figured out what the base.
yeah,
thing
what's
should
the
be.
actual goal? I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Like is location even relevant? Like I think it is, but like in terms of
Yeah, location. Like according to
goal,
Greg, and I largely agree, location's the big deal. I
yeah.
also want it to work locally, so I don't quite go as far as Greg does. And I talked to Nick a little bit more. He's interested more in like productivity in the office. I what I definitely don't want to do is like bifurcate the focus too much. I'd rather get something out, and I think lat long is the attention getter. But right now, everything I'm building does apply to both. Like
Yep.
the thing that stores an environment and maps it to a skill set is like
Yeah.
it's almost like the desktop thing gets done for free almost in with what I'm doing right now, which is kind of exciting to be honest. Um, yeah, because it's so cool. I could be at my computer and I could speak into certain environments. Well, okay, not quite yet. This is like I'm so close, but I will be able to speak into environments like, here's a skill that I want you to work on for this environment, and then it just like works. But I want to do that elsewhere, just like you're talking about. Like whenever you go to Kroger's, here's what Kroger's does. I've taught you, and eventually have Kroger's teach us itself.
It's like I'm trying to think of like synergies between environments. Not that that's actually like the purpose just yet, but like if you're physically at some place, like you want your computer to act a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Like, mm, I'm having trouble like thinking of like good combinations of like if you're physically at a location, but you're still using Rook on like your phone or something, and you're asking a question, it makes sense to like pull in the location context or the location environment
Mm-hmm.
in order to just like maybe you're asking like I don't know, I need to buy flowers really quickly. Where can I get flowers?
Mm-hmm.
Type thing. Um, but that's kind of like, for instance, like I've only tried this with a few like different sessions, but like if I'm at a certain location and then I go back to work like on my computer, I'm kind of wasting context, I guess, by telling it where I am because it's not relevant really to any of the coding that I'm doing, but I don't know. I don't know if that's relevant.
Well, okay, so sure, it is relevant. I, for example, am kind of stuck on my silly example about Kroger's in my shopping list, which is, I
Yeah,
think, a cool example, but I've said it way too many
relevant.
times. Um,
Yeah.
Another example that's a little bit threadbare, but I don't think I've said it to you yet. Um, it's Lowe's again, unfortunately, so that's threadbare. But it's like if I'm in Lowe's, another environment I would like to attach to is the Home Depot right across the street. That'd be great. I could have my agent kind of navigate deals and stuff.
I've
Uh,
had that exact situation with a audit. Like I was at an AutoZone, but there was also a oh god, I forgot the other names. There was a like Tires R Us equivalent, like next door, and there was like some other like like auto parts like shop. Like there was like three of them in a cluster.
mhm,
And I literally drove between them to like check prices for like a jack stand at the time.
mhm,
And it's like, why couldn't I just look it up?
right?
Like, yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Like, uh, what's this thing cost at the Home Depot?
Yeah,
And honestly, you could like for right now, we could even fake that. We wouldn't have to enter in a Home Depot environment. It's like by
no,
virtue of entering into Lowe's, it's because of the change that you made. We got to get the data figured out. It's got the freaking Home Depot website, and that's like
yeah,
the agent with access to search can use that really well. And we'll just wrap a skill around it later to say, here's extra information about navigating the website. I mean, like, I didn't realize until you showed me that we had that access to the store URL. But okay, so I'm at Lowe's and I'm looking at a tire jack, uh, and I'm using supposedly the environment, which is just the website right now is just fine.
yeah.
Then I can say, is the Home Depot across the street have a better thing? Well, it's got the lat long of where I am right now, and it's got the
Hmm.
ability to search the internet. So it's got that. It can do it already. That's cool. Um, haha, it's got the okay. You just made the cognitive leap. I saw you make it, and I was like, "What leap is it?" It's like, well,
No,
okay, if it's got the lat long
I was
already, then do we need
I
environments?
was thinking about barcode databases for
Oh,
some reason.
barcode
Uh, because some of those are public.
database. Okay, that's cool.
I don't know why, but besides, um, I don't know. It's I don't think that should be considered an environment in the way that we're talking about it, but I don't know. Instead of like typing in what you're searching for, but that's like a way optimization
Hmm.
like level thing, which is probably not worth it. But I don't know.
Hmm.
That's why. Um,
All right. Well, I just heard the dinner bell ring, so I've got to head downstairs here in just a second. What are you? I want to keep you interested. It's been fun so far, and I think you're interested. What what can I get you working on next?
um, I want to prove the location stuff still, but I need to figure out how you like. I need to actually look into the code more of like how you're actually associating the like environment, like skill bundles with an environment and seeing how that actually maps to the geolocation stuff.
Mhm.
'Cause I think it would be most powerful if I can just start talking to Rook to make skills relevant to a certain environment.
Mhm.
Um, and then it's just a matter of just like, oh, coming up with something and saying, oh, like as long as I can like it might be useful like going back to the whole like being able to identify like a project um like Rook itself has maybe like code projects should be a separate environment. Like you have your application, like you might be like working like VS Code or something, or like Cursor. Um, but going back to the whole like layers concept,
Mm-hmm.
um, your project in VS Code is just like a step down or more specific environment
Mm-hmm.
than like the editor you're using to make it. Because I just use VS Code for every project I have, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And that has like every coding project now has like its own set of skill files and everything like that. But I wonder if we should treat that as like a first class like environment to the point where it's like a named entity.
Which environment? VS Code itself or VS Code your project?
VS Code your project.
That's what I'm doing with Obsidian.
Okay.
I like it's still a little bit muddy, but it seems like I'm telling reality what I think things should be shaped in, and occasionally reality, like you noticed yesterday, says something different. Like I'm in house, neighborhood, blah blah blah. That very very long hierarchy. You noticed that, and I hadn't really thought much about that. But the other thing that you noticed that I had noticed was like that they also split. Like I'm in Obsidian with my vault about my reading list, but also I'm in Obsidian, so that's a hierarchical thing. But also I'm in Obsidian with the To-Dos plugin, which might be it should have its own skills potentially too. And right, and then that's where Nix and you now have both said like, well, okay, we'll just give the agent the list of all the stuff that's nearby, whatever that means in time and relevance in space, and then let the agent see like, okay, well, these are I'm going to enter these environments. So he needs a new tool probably. You got 1 minute because I gotta go. My wife will murder me.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah, trying to formulate this really quickly. Imagine if we could, I'll just write it up.
Write it down somewhere. Don't lose it.
Yeah.
We got to figure out, let's figure out what time we're going to hack together in this. I want to walk through the user experience and how that maps to the data structures that I'm currently working on, because you have a different vantage point that would be really helpful to test reality with.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. Let's talk asynchronously. I got to get out. Peace.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Cool. And meeting for all. Monologue. Was it a useful day? That was really cool. Places don't work perfectly. The data set's kind of rough. But isn't it cool that you can just like figure out what the website is for a point on the map? Just lat long a website is enough where you can fake the behavior as much as you want. So I'm becoming less worried about like having skills attached to these areas if we can get that data. I do want to attach to be able to write my own skills and agents MD into a physical place. So things are getting kind of interesting, and I guess that's it. Till next time.